Hello and welcome to a special souvenir edition of the Dragon Slayer podcast in association with SA Sports Bar, the home for live sport and great burgers in Newport. Now, why is there a special souvenir edition, you may ask? I'll tell you why. It's because, wait for it, Dragons won a game of rugby.
Come
That's right.
on, come
Dragons
on.
actually won.
Dragons, I'm waking my nipper up, but dragons.
I'm Jamie, and joining me is a jubilant Gareth Leclerc. Gareth, how are we,
Come
dare I
on,
ask?
fucking get in. Never been so happy. Cheers to all those listeners watching. Yes, I'm having a beer. Yes,
All beer in hand already,
this is
yes.
recorded after the game, and I am celebrating because it doesn't happen often.
He's absolutely buzzing. I knew you'd be like this. I knew he'd be like
Come
this.
on.
A welcome return to the pod for Gavin Thomas. Gavin, welcome back. You have been missed. How are you, good sir?
I'm well, and thank you for everyone who inquired. My son managed to injure himself playing rugby, then my mum was taken in the hospital, so I was uh, a bit discombobulated, but I am back. But I've managed to injure my own hamstring, so the Thomas family's injuries continue.
But it's great to have you back nonetheless. People have been asking after you as well, Gav. We've had messages. Is Gavin okay? When's he back? But it's great to have you with us.
I'm back, and I've come back at exactly the right time.
Yeah, you are.
Absolutely
Come
have.
on.
Fair play, fair play. Right, let's get into the news desk. Little bit of news. Dragons have signed Wrexham-born hooker George Roberts from Doncaster Knights. The 27-year-old joins the men of Gwent after 5 seasons in the English Championship. He made his 100th appearance for Doncaster earlier this month, so this is an experienced hooker, which is good. Did either of you know that Sir Ian McGeechan is the director of rugby at Doncaster?
I didn't.
No, I
Yeah?
did not.
Sir Ian McGeechan is the director of rugby at Doncaster. I didn't know that till the other day, but this is what he said. George has been an important player at the Knights for over 5 seasons and has played 103 games. He has been core to the team's performances and has developed as an important leader within the group. We are delighted he's been given the opportunity to play in Wales for Dragons Rugby in the URC, something which he has always wanted to achieve. And he goes with the very best wishes of all at the club to continue his journey towards a Welsh jersey. I got to be honest, I never heard of this guy before. I don't watch a great deal of Championship rugby, but Gavin, you were saying our friend Sam Lana has given you a glowing report on him.
Yeah, rates him, says he's a good physical player. And it's, we're not bringing in someone who's raw and needs to get their head around the game, someone who knows how to play a physical brand of rugby.
Good stuff. Gav,
Yeah.
any thoughts or comments?
Yeah,
If you
in
know
all
about him.
honesty, not someone I've heard of before, but yeah, if he's come with a good reputation, happy days. And I think it's a good breeding ground for tough forwards, really, isn't it? The championship. So I'll take that.
Yeah, see how he gets on. But yeah, that's the only bit of news, really. So last week's pod, it wasn't fun to record, was it, Gareth?
It was not, no. It was the first time where I've told people, maybe don't listen, because it was that grim.
Yeah. It probably didn't help that we recorded on the same day because I just watched Dragons get thumped out in Perpignan.
Helps today, though.
It does. But then I also watched Newport County get thumped by non-league Boreham Wood. So I wasn't in a good mood last week, and I think it showed on the pod. We wasn't happy, and rightly so,
Clearly
because
so, though.
that performance was, and I stand by every word, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
We did have a lot of feedback, though, a lot of comments. A lot of people agreed with what we said. A couple of comments that got you. Lee got in touch and said, listen to the pod, and it's like you guys climbed inside my head. It's been clear to me for a while that our coaches are just not up to the standard needed. I don't doubt their commitment, but we've tried unproven coaches time and again. Fair comment?
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. Dino got in touch. He said, I hate to hear Gav so disappointed. Well, he's not disappointed this week, Dino. He's a very happy
certainly
Gareth.
not buzzing.
He's a very happy Gareth, and I'm glad. So yeah, it's been a tough week for the Dragons. The reaction after the Perpignan game was a big eye opener, I thought. And I don't know about you two, but I haven't seen Dragon supporters get so vocal and so angry about a performance like that before. Because I've always said that our fan base, we could be quite passive, quite accepting because we're used to these performances now. But that wasn't the case this week. Even the happy clapper supporters were naffed off. And that's something you just don't see very often. A lot of criticism is going towards the coaching team and towards the owners. And we're in a situation now where the rumours are swirling, particularly around Ospreys and Y11, and the knives are sharpening. And it's not helping our cause that we're losing. Did any of you have the misfortune to listen to Scrum V, the warm-up show?
Well, I did
In the
listen
week?
to it after you
Yes.
suggested I should.
Wasn't enjoyable.
No. So John Davis, Foxy, he fired some shots at the Dragons. He claims that we've done nothing and we get held to a lesser standard than the other regions. We'll come back to that in a minute. Sean Holley was also on the pod talking, it has to be said, absolute bollocks. He said he felt sorry for Philo Titia, and I quote, he hasn't been able to recruit. We signed 15 players in the off-season. What's he on about? We signed 15 players. He hasn't been able to recruit. What are you talking about? And then he said, who wants to go to a team that hasn't won in 14 months? Okay, fine. I take that point. And live in Newport, East Wales, when they have a choice to go to London, Dublin, or Paris. So he's slagging off Newport and slagging off East Wales. So what's wrong with living in Newport and East Wales? And does he think that if you play for the Dragons, that you have to live in Newport? It's how we suggested, because wait till he finds out where Scarlet's boys live.
And if he
You think
wants
they
to
all live in
compare,
Clefley?
if he wants to compare Newport to London, we compare all of South Wales to London.
Yeah.
And yeah, we all know Tame Plumtree and Blair Murray live in Cardiff, so the Scarlets can get fucked.
85% of Welsh rugby players live in Pontcanna. I reckon there's coffee shops in Pontcanna that you could sit in for 2 hours and see about 25 rugby players.
Well, yeah, because that's why Cardiff make the same tedious joke every season whenever they play the Scarlets at Cardiff Arms Park. Oh, they've all come from Pontcanna, walk up Cathedral Road. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, because they all live in bloody Cardiff. So why Sean thinks you have to live in Newport to play for the Dragons? And again, what's wrong with Newport? What's wrong with East Wales? What's he trying
Newport's
to
fucking
insinuate?
cracking. Get
Exactly.
fucked, Sean.
Yeah.
For want of a better way of putting it, but I've had a beer, so Sean, get fucked.
Don't say East Wales too much though, because you'll get the geography people.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Fair enough.
Yeah, East Wales region, do we?
No. He also
Who wants to live up north?
Let me say this bit now. Right. He also claimed that there's a disconnect with the Gwent clubs and the Dragons because the Dragons changed the name to Dragons RFC, therefore they're a club, not a region, and they don't have the buy-in, which is just absolute garbage. And I was talking to Dan Crandon from the Rat Pod. So Dan coaches Abbottleary, right? And this is what he said about Holley's comments. He said, I'm out in the region every week. The community work and connections around the region have never been stronger. The Dragons went out and trained at 4 different clubs over the summer. That's true. They have loads of kids attending games. Dragons hold kids camps everywhere. He was trying to allude to the region being total chaos. It's not. The on-field is shit, but the work being done elsewhere is good. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
and that's someone
who
coaches a Gwent club and is in the community and lives in Gwent. So I'm sorry, Sean, I'm pushing back on your bollocks. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's. I think the community links that the Dragons have and the engagement they've done is actually stronger than it's ever been before. Would you agree with that?
100%. We won a community award 2 seasons ago for the work in the community. We all know there's on-field struggles, but the amount of effort and the amount of kids going to games at the Dragons is brilliant. There's a lot of really good work at the Dragons. It's the results that have been the struggle. Until tonight.
Yeah. I would argue that if there isn't like maybe some clubs are disconnected from the Dragons. We do have a lot of clubs in Gwent. Maybe there are 1 or 2 disconnected. But for me, the reason why there hasn't been enough buy-in is because of results.
Yeah.
Well,
if Dragons were winning, if it was more success, there would be a lot more buy-in because people want to be part of success. It's obvious. That's why. It's something to do with changing the name to Dragons RFC.
No.
It's absolute drivel.
Well, you look at Wales games now. You used to be able to sell the autumn 10 times over. Now we struggle to sell tickets for the world champions at home because it's poor. People want success. It's the same across
people don't want to see poor sides, do they? And no one cares what a side is called as long as it's winning, and no one cares where it's based. And the idea that and the stupid thing is, think of how many people who are actually Valley's people who support the Dragons. There's 2 of us on this pod.
Yeah. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, so Holley taught. Look, it's difficult for Sean Holley. Philos is a good mate of his, and I get it, but you know, absolute drivel he was talking. It's got to be said, and it needs to be called out, which is what we've done. Let's go back to John Fox's comment now, because I think it's interesting, if slightly flawed. So this is what he said, and I'm quoting this direct. He said, "The other regions get held to a higher standard than the Dragons. We always talk about the Dragons. Oh, they got close and whatnot. They haven't won for 20 games. If other regions hadn't won for 20 games, we'd want more answers. It doesn't seem fair," he says, "that they get held to a lesser standard." Um, Gareth, let's start with you then. What do you make of Foxy comments? Drags have done nothing and they're not held to the same standards as the other regions. It's not fair.
I mean, first of all, his comments on that we've done nothing, and I think it was for the last 20 years, is absolutely outrageous. Just because we haven't won trophies, we've done our bit. We've produced a lot of quality players for Wales, let alone Wales' greatest ever forward, Toby Faletau. But, we've produced plenty of other internationals. We've done our bit and competed at a fair level over the years. Yes, we've been poor the last few. Are we held to a different standard? I don't think we've been held to a different standard because people are saying we're shit. Then no one's accepting that we're awful now, that we've been losing games. It's not acceptable. Hence, people are saying we should be cut. So it's not that we're to a different standard, but maybe as a fan base, we've got slightly used to it. Maybe, but no, I do take exception to his comment saying that we've done nothing for the last 20 years because we have. We've done our bit. We've produced plenty of players for Wales and plenty of players that the other regions have decided to poach because they want far more money than us. So could take our better players. So yeah, I don't agree with his comments.
Gavin, what did you make of Foxy's comments then on Scrum V? Do you think he has any point at all saying that they've done nothing when it's kind of a cheap, lazy dig that, Lynn
Yeah,
Jones said? I don't care about that. But the fact that we are not held to the same standard as the other region, is it because expectations are lower at the Dragons, would you say? Or how do you look at it?
I think there's a number of factors to it, really. One, yeah, we are probably held with there's lower expectations of us because we haven't won consistently for a while now. So I think generally there are lower expectations. As for being held to a different standard, no, we're all held to exactly the same standard. And let's not get too excited about the other teams. No one's done particularly well in the URC for 6 or 7 years. None of the Welsh teams have. And yeah, some have finished 7th or 8th. It's still 7th or 8th out of 16, which is average. It's bang average. So let's not be making out any of them are particularly good and haven't been for a decade. Have we done as well as Scarlets? Have we done as well as Cardiff? Have we done as well as Ospreys? No, we haven't. Have any of us done very well for about half a decade? No. So, but he's coming from a place of passion as well, isn't he? He clearly cares about the Scarlets. He wants the Scarlets to survive. But one team isn't going to survive, so everybody wants to point the finger, and we're the easiest club to point the finger at.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Passion can also be described as desperation, isn't it? And that's why I was commenting.
Of course, it comes from a place of anger and fear and all these other things. So you point your fingers.
It's quite cheap, though, isn't it?
But we signed the PRA, so
yeah,
legally we're in a much stronger position.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Look, I have no problem with people criticizing the Dragons. I think we do deserve some of it, not all of it, but a lot of it is justified. We don't help ourselves with our performances and results. The only thing that does annoy me when people do criticize the Dragons, for the last 20 years, they never accept or take into account that we had the lowest playing budget for nearly 2 decades, excluding salary caps. So, yeah, sure, if you want to point fingers at the Dragons, point fingers at the results, I've got no problem. But if you're deliberately overlooking the fact that we had the lowest playing budget for nearly 2 decades, then you're being really disingenuous, I think. You're just you have a narrative and you're not prepared to look at the facts and the nuance around it. So that's how I feel about this. So David Buttress was asked for a response to Fox's comments. He was very vocal again on social media, wasn't he, Gareth? He responded to you as well, didn't he?
He did indeed. Yeah, which is good to see. You've got to love it, to be fair. That's what you want in an ownership group.
Yeah, I think the Everton comment cut deep mind. I think that's what did it. when you had a dig at his beloved Everton. So this is what David Buttress said. This was his response to Fox's comments on Scrum V. He said, I think it's clear that we don't, in brackets, get held to a lesser standard. We are rightly criticised for several of the key points Foxy makes, and we have to change it. My only point is that the club has been private again for 16 months, and righting the wrongs of a decade takes continuous investment and stability. And then he also said, let's have it right. When I joined the Dragons, our playing budget for the year was 3.5 million. The other teams in the West were between 7 and 8 million. We all know how the funding dice have been loaded. Man City and PSG didn't suddenly just get a good coaching win. The 1 billion helped. So he's talking about this funding dice. This was, do you remember that funding model that came in
Yeah.
where teams were rewarded for producing the most Welsh internationals? And Scarlets benefited tremendously from that because they were the most successful team. They had the highest budget. They were producing really
But
good
what would
results.
happen
So
is
therefore,
you'd
you're
have those
going to
players
pick.
in the Wales squad, wouldn't you? You'd get more funding, so then you had the money to then poach our better players, who then became internationals, and it would have roll on. We could never get out of that cycle, could we?
I think that funding, though, was always going to be that funding system was always going to be detrimental to the Dragons because what it
Yeah.
does, it rewards the strongest teams and it penalizes the weaker teams.
Yeah.
So with the Dragons, if you're working on a low budget, you don't have money to bring in good coaches. You don't have money to bring in good players. You struggle to keep hold of your best players. You struggle to get results. Therefore, you're not producing Welsh internationals because the national coach isn't going to pick 7 or 8 players from the weakest team. So that system was always going to be detrimental to the Dragons, and it was always loaded in favour of Scarlets and the strongest teams. It was never going to benefit us. So it was slightly unfair in that regard. But yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, we have been poor for 20 years, but let's look at the facts. Let's look at the context. We did not have a sugar daddy. We didn't have Peter Thomas. We didn't have Mike Cuddy. We didn't have a team of benefactors like Scarlets have. We didn't have that level of investment. We were working, well, we didn't have a pot to piss in. We were working off a very low budget. And that showed in our results. And that's why we just didn't have enough Welsh internationals. That's where it comes down to. But a lot of supporters just keep overlooking those facts, and it's slightly annoying. But the one thing I would say, mind, if Foxy wants Dragons held to the same standard as the other regions, then I think he needs to have a word with his colleagues at Scrum V. Because how many times have you boys listened to a podcast where they talk about the other 3 regions in depth, and then they leave the Dragons till last, and they talk about it for 3 minutes, and then they wrap the show up?
Yeah.
How many times has that happened? Yeah. So Foxy's saying, well, if the other regions had run for 20 games, we'd want more answers. Well, I say to him, why don't Scrum V start asking those questions then? Why don't they start asking more pressing questions around the coaching and the recruitment? Why don't they hold the Dragons to account? Why can't they do what we have done on this podcast and get David Buttress on? Why don't they get Rhys Blumberg on? Why don't they try and get David Wright on? So, I think it's a little bit contradictory that he's saying this on Scrum V when Scrum V have not pressed or interrogated the Dragons enough. You can't have it both ways.
We've been more critical of Dragons than they have because they
100%.
haven't bothered. They haven't bothered with it.
Because they did it on their pod on Monday. Gareth Rousseau was like, oh, we leave the Dragons to last because, they've lost again. I didn't want to start with them because, they bring the pod down or something like that. And you're like, well, you're part of the problem then. Why don't you open with the Dragons? Why don't you ask difficult questions? Talk about the Dragons more. If you want them held to the same standards as the other 3, start doing your job and start asking questions. We have been far more critical. We have held the Dragons to account far more than Scrum V and Wales Online, I think, personally. And we're passionate supporters of the club. So start doing that.
We've been massive fans, but we've always been the first ones to say this isn't good enough.
Exactly. And people respect us for that. People respect us for honesty. They really do.
Two
I
ways.
get told all the time.
From Scrum V as well as 2 ways. Yes, they don't give us the airtime to criticise us and ask those difficult questions, but also the propaganda to build up the other sides. So we all love Harry Deeves and his story and take nothing away from him. Seems like a fantastic player. But Aaron Wainwright was out yesterday putting out cones for Whiteheads, and he's coaching in the week. But we all hear Harry Deeves is a great clubman. We don't get that coverage and that sort of propaganda that the teams in the West and Cardiff get. With just the poor relations of Wales that they just don't give a shit about. And yeah, Scrum V are another ones that can essentially, for want of a better word, can get fucked as well.
I can tell you've had a few beers. But it's just ironic to me that Foxy is saying this on Scrum V, and they are the guilty party of not holding drags to account. If you feel, they get off lightly, then have a word with your colleagues then.
Yeah, well, surely that's their job.
That's it. That's
Well,
what I'm
at the end
saying.
of last season, they
Journalists.
kept saying, didn't they, that we do need to do a deep dive into the Dragons, but they never did because
Yeah.
let's be honest, they just don't care.
No.
They don't care, and it's awful, and it's becoming not worth a listen. And I think Lauren now Salter is fantastic for Scrum V because she does ask some difficult questions, but there's no real journalism going on. What someone put Chum 5 because it's just an absolute loving in it for a couple of the teams, Cardiff and down the west. Yeah, it's not a good listen anymore.
I have the issue. It's same with Match of the Day and stuff on Sky. If you have people who have a vested interest in the team, like if Liverpool decided they were going to start murdering people in the crowd, Jamie Carragher would find a reason to say why he was all right. It's don't
Yeah, spot on.
Try not have actual journalists on, or have people who don't have a vested interest.
But also as well, like, where's the Dragons representation? Okay, Ashton has been on there a couple of times. He hasn't been on there recently, but it's always the same people, isn't there? Cuthbert, Foxy, Ellis Jenkins. Where's the Dragons reps then?
Yeah, you'd have to have all four, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I joined RAP. And that was one of the things that me and Leo always said. We wanted to give equal airtime to all four regions. That's why we set up the pod. And Scrum V don't do that. So, if you want them asking tough questions, if you want them held to the same standards as the other three, bloody do your jobs and do it then.
Yeah.
Ask the tough questions. Talk about the Dragons. Get the owners on the pod. Interrogate them. Ask them about the coaching. Question them. Ask them if it's acceptable to have a head coach who's won one game in 24 matches. Or two now, actually.
Two.
Sorry, 2 games in 24 matches. Still not great, though, is there?
No league games.
No league games. Do your job. Interrogate us. I'm open to Dragons getting held to the same standards as the other regions. But then don't talk about us for 3 minutes at the end. Oh, Dragons lost again. Yeah, that's all we got time for this week. See you on the next show. No.
Well, we 3 regions won this weekend. Surely we should be one of the ones they talk about.
They'll never talk about the Dragons first Scrum V. It'll be Cardiff. It'll be Ospreys. And do you know what? Though, why we'll say it's been a very good weekend for Welsh rugby.
Oh, yeah.
The Ospreys had a terrific win out in France. Not to be sniffed at. Doesn't matter if they're one of the weakest teams in the top 14. Any win in France is a good win. It's a very tough place to go. Cracking win for the Ospreys, 2 from 2. They're in a good position now to qualify from the pool. Scarlets, it was a spirited effort. We always knew they were going to get battered, but to be fair, they were very unlucky not to get a losing bonus point, a try bonus point. They worked incredibly hard, in fairness to them. Fletcher Anderson, by the way, he is the find of the season. Cubby boy deserves all his props because I know he's head of recruitment down there, James Davis. He deserves a pay rise, I'm telling you, because he is the find of the season. Brilliant player. Cardiff, I didn't see the Cardiff game. They won again. I was told they were lucky. It wasn't convincing. Does it matter? No, because they won. They know how to win games. They're looking good. It pains me to say it. Cardiff are looking good.
Oh, they're the best of the regions by quite some way at the minute, I think.
Yeah, and to think, they lost Matt Sherratt in the beginning of the season. Hasn't mattered, does it? I think they look better than they've ever had under Matt Sherratt, personally. But good on him. Much as I hate him, and it pains me to say it, Cardiff are looking good. And we won as well. So it's been a good weekend.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Right. Shall we talk about the game? Let's put aside all the bollocks.
Yeah,
let's
on then.
talk about the
Why
game.
Not?
So, I know you're dying. To talk about this. So, Sunday afternoon, Dragons played Lyon. We were promised a big reaction. There's been an edge in training, we were told. Philo, he's not exactly Mr. Charismatic, is he? Let's be honest. But he was quite punchy with his comments.
One of his better interviews. Yeah, one of his better interviews, I thought.
He said the Perpignan performance was unacceptable and players can't afford to have a day off in this jersey. Now, for Philo, like I said, he's not exactly Mr. Charisma or inspiring, but that was pretty punchy by his standards, wasn't it? In fairness, that was pretty punchy.
It was good. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Live honesty.
So, Dragons 23, Lyon 21.
Dragons.
Oh
Come
dear.
on, get in.
Dragons won for the first time in 2025 after a remarkable comeback to beat Lyon 23-21. Dragons were staring down the barrel of a 21st straight defeat when trailing 21-6 with a quarter of an hour to go. Hell of a comeback. It's only starting to sink in now just how good that comeback was. However, a double by flanker Harry Keddy either side of a try by hooker, Ollie Burrows allowed Angus O'Brien to slot the match-winning conversion in the 80th minute. So it means Dragons, who let's not forget are missing several key players due to injury, kept alive their hopes of qualifying for the last 16. It was Dragons' first win since beating Newcastle away last December, and our first win at home since beating Ospreys in September 2024. It's been a long time, boys, and it
Yes.
felt good. It felt so bloody good because after the week we had, the criticism that we've taken, rightly so, from supporters, ex-pros in the media, I think, if I'm being brutally honest, I think the Dragons needed it. I think they needed to kick up
Yes,
the arse, and
they
I'm
really
not,
did.
and I'm not bothered about Foxy coming out and saying stuff like that because I think the Dragons do need to wise up and start listening to what people are saying. They needed this jolt, and they delivered. They delivered. They won. I tell you what, Gavin, I'm going to give you the first word because you're back with us, and then we'll come to a very excitable Gareth. But your reaction to Dragons finally winning a game in 2025?
I was frustrated after the first 40 minutes because
Yeah,
we'd had a lot more of the game and we should have been leading rather than being 7-6 down. And then in the second half, you could see the intent was it, but we just fell apart a bit. And I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. But what I was really impressed with for that last 20 minutes, it was just absolute common sense rugby. They defended the key areas of the field really well. They made good decisions. Shea Hope's kick in just got us out of trouble a few times in those last minutes. They they knew they weren't going to win the battles at wide, so they were just trying to win the battles in the middle of the field. And it was just common sense, and that's what won it for us. All three tries came from lineouts, two directly, one indirectly, and lineouts that we'd won as a result of penalties. And it was just, I've criticised Angus O'Brien for his leadership historically, but he
yeah,
got it absolutely right today. He made the right decisions at the right times. And what I really liked as well, because they were really physical, Leon, and we didn't take a backward step. First off, Levi Douglas was just battering them,
mm,
running into them at any given moment. And then in the second half, Ryan Woodman and Harry Keddy just came on and they made the difference. Really impressed with Ollie Burrows, who
Yeah,
I've liked anyway. I think he's
yeah,
looked decent. But he showed me really what I thought he was today. Wanted to carry the ball, wanted to run at people, took his try well. I,
100%.
I can't believe he let Keddy score the two before the two other ones, to be honest. Oh no, he wasn't on the field for the third one, but yeah, it was just gutsy. And how many times have we said we haven't been gutsy enough? I must admit, I didn't watch the conversion. I stood out because I was watching in my office,
Me neither.
and I stood out. I stood outside my office because I couldn't watch it.
oh dear.
Because the
Okay,
conversion prior to that might be one of the worst kicks I have ever seen a professional rugby player take.
yeah, I've got that written down in my notes. The goal kicking is still a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay, Gareth, your thoughts? Come on, you've been waiting for this moment. This is
Oh,
your first ever victory pod.
I'm
Tell us how you
elated.
feel. Come on.
I'm absolutely buzzing. Rodney Parade at that final whistle was everything I want in my life. It was people hugging. It was like the second coming of Christ. It was fantastic. It was one of the best moments around, and I just thought that team produced a performance today that I just know we're really capable of. Like we had that dog and that fight about us. General Levi just taking everything up, smashing people. And I agree with Gav. I thought Ollie Burrows had his best game in the Dragon shirt yet, and he really showed the player that we'd hoped is in there. He'd looked all right up until now, and I think today he really stepped up We were really aggressive in defence because, look, we know we're not a fantastic team at the moment, and results have not gone our way. So when we're not winning, there's groans in the crowd, and some people are more negative than others. And at times we're defending, people are like, oh, and I was like, hang on a minute, we're defending well here. We're really holding our line well. We kept our shape really well. We were hitting hard in defence. I was really pleased with it, and we challenged at the breakdown when it was on. I was really pleased with how we went about our business. There's still frustrations in attack. I am really pleased with today, but in attack, we do look poor. We don't have shape. We don't get into shape quickly. Even when we do, what is the shape? A line? I'm not sure. I don't think we're getting enough out of our back line and our quality players.
Even the first kind of bit of possession we had, games about a minute old. And it's just this really loose ball to Di Richards who had no idea what was going on. And you're like, oh my God.
It's not good enough. And at halftime, I said to my old man, and I think most Dragons fans would agree that Hugh Anderson is a big attacking threat. And I said to him, how many times do you think we will pass him the ball second half? And his answer was 0. And I think the final number was once Shea Hope did. So we're not getting the most out of our backs. But we're a team, like I've been saying the last few weeks, that does have a lot of fight about him. We've got good players who try really hard for that jersey. I thought Shea Hope made a huge difference coming on. Niall Armstrong was very good, but when Shea Hope came on, his clearance kicking was fantastic. I don't know how he can kick it so far because he's quite slight. But the way he picks the ball up from a ruck and holds it and waits for a tackler to come onto him, it just creates gaps. And we were gaining that little bit of an extra yard from those forward carries. I was really, really impressed with Shea Hope. I thought he was taking good options, when to go short or long. I thought he started to really boss the game from 9, and we've not had that. I thought he looked really good and just elated that we could get over the line. And I genuinely feel like those players really deserve it. Angus O'Brien, week in, week out, that's a guy who really cares. You watch him, he really cares about this team and he works his bollocks off. And I'm really happy that he got that winning kick because we deserved that. That team fought hard and deserved that win. And I'm just elated. And that was just everything that Rodney Parade could be at the end. People cheering, people hugging, going wild. The atmosphere was amazing. Just think, it could be like that every week. And that's one out of the next 3 that I said would win. Called it. So Dragons fans, get your ass back to Rodney Parade because we're going to go and win the next 2. So
here we go.
We're on a roll, boys. We're on a roll.
He's off for one.
I'm really pleased, though. We played well.
Can I be controversial? I don't know if you agree with this. I did actually put it in the group chat. Rodney Parade was very noisy in the last 10 minutes, but I actually thought overall, it was slightly muted, the atmosphere today.
It was.
On
TV, certainly.
I think
it was at the ground.
Look, everyone has their preferred kickoffs times, but I think nobody wants a Sunday. You know, a Rodney Parade on a Friday night is electric. Rodney Parade on a Saturday afternoon, you get a lot of kids in. Sunday, it's a little bit casual, isn't it? People are, winding down. And I think those around me will know when I make this comment. I think if you want a really good expert view of how the game went for the last 10 minutes, you could always ask Ryan from the supporters club, the treasurer who's been on before. I'm not sure what the view was like from the footbridge when he left with 20 minutes to go, but I'm sure he'd be happy to chirp in and maybe tweet us to see what his reaction was to the game. Because some of us had a little bit more faith than others on the terrace.
I can't say I blame him mind. When we were 21-6 down, I did not see a way back at all. No. And the crowd was very muted. It was kind of like, and we've seen it a million times, Garth, when we've been to Rodney Parade. Yeah. When we fall behind like that, the crowd falls silent. There's that dread, that feeling of, we've lost this now. Heads start dropping.
It's because we haven't got one over the line in so long.
Exactly. I think people are losing their faith. And I think the problem is there was a lot, and you said this as well, Gavin, in the message in the group chat after the Perpignan game. I do think a lot of goodwill was lost after that Perpignan game.
Yeah, no,
because like I said, I haven't seen a reaction from supporters like that in a very long. There was a lot of angry people, even people I consider, the happy clappers, as I call them. nobody, and I mean nobody, was happy with that performance. Nobody was sticking up for that performance. Nobody was trying to make excuses. It was downright awful. And then when you're 21-6 down today, I did turn to my brother. I thought, oh, waste of time. Here we go again.
It's funny you say that. There was, like you said, there was a big reaction to that Perpignan game, and you could feel that on the terrace almost as
Yeah,
soon as the game, or even before kickoff, that people were talking about not being happy with the coaching, not being
yeah,
happy with the attack, and it was scrutinised during the play. And we were putting in a lot of effort in that first half, but the attack was blunt. It has to be said. We weren't scoring enough points during the game to go on and win it. I'm really glad that we did. But for a lot of that game, you thought we're not taking chances. We're not, got no edge. And because we don't look good in attack, we lose the ball and we have to defend so much. And that's exhausting. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And you think, fair play to those players because they work so hard. They are giving a lot to that jersey. And I've said it before, I really respect a lot of our players. I think we've got quality players, but still think we're being let down in by our coaching and the attack coaching, especially. It's just not good enough. And for the first time, it was almost unison on the terrace. That's what everyone was saying the same thing. The coaching is not good enough for this side.
With
no,
the ball in hand, where we did get a bit of go forward, it was because of individual kind of stuff. There was one where Angus had found a bit of space and cut the line.
Yes.
A couple of times, the Nyren just found a bit of space. And Ewan Rosser found, kind of he opened up a bit of space for himself, but it wasn't because of anything fancy we'd done.
I mean, come on. How do we go almost a whole game with giving Hugh Anderson 2 touches of the ball? That's that shouldn't happen. If he was down at the Scarlets, you just know he'd be looking electric. We know he's got it in his locker. Get him on the ball. Put a game plan in place where we get our better players on the ball. The attack is dreadful. And I don't want to come on and be negative because we've won, but the attack wasn't any better. We didn't win because of the attack. We won because we've got players who give fucking everything for that jersey and work their bollocks off. And the forwards especially were brilliant.
Or it was Grant that won the game, not
Yeah,
skill.
I agree. Yeah, I do
yeah,
agree with that. I think the forwards won us the game in the set piece. I don't think it was
yeah.
anything to do with the attack.
Forwards
You will not,
deserve all the praise.
yeah, you will not find any Dragon supporter now who will have any faith in the coaching or the attack. I don't think. I
No.
think everyone knows what the problem is. Like I said, I was generally taken back by the reaction after the Perpignan game. Every
Yeah.
Dragon supporter online. And to be fair, David Buttress has taken a lot of criticism and he did respond to it. I'll give him that. But we all know the problems. And I'm delighted we won today, but they don't go away, the problems. They're still there. We are
Well,
poorly
Jamie,
coached and the attack is dreadful.
if we're honest, we were quite harsh last week, and we did think, what's the reaction going to be like to the pod? But in the
Everyone
large,
agreed with us, though. Everyone
everyone
agreed.
agreed. Yeah, in the large, everyone was agreeing, which was quite telling, really, because we thought, was it reactionary to the, because it was on the day, but everyone agreed. So it's not in a good place. The thing that annoys me is, yes, the forwards won us the game today, and it was the effort and the determination from the side, and the back play was poor. I don't think we've got poor backs. I think an Ivan Owen, as an example, is a fantastic player, but we're
Yeah.
not playing him in a system that's getting the most out of him or anyone around him. And you
No,
just think it's not his fault. We need someone to come in. And also, what does he know? He's only ever played here. What does he know? What does good look like? What does a great attacking system look like? Our players don't know. We need to bring someone in with experience to take on the backs and really kick us on as a team, because effort is only going to go get us so far. Because if another team matches our efforts, we're not going to win if they've got better back play and can score more points than us.
Yeah, fair enough. What have I got on my notes? It just felt like a weight has been lifted off the shoulders. There was so much talk about us not winning in 2025. It is embarrassing. It's a relief, isn't it? Like
yeah.
when the final whistle went, Rodney Parade went bonkers, and I just stood up and I went, that was my reaction. I wasn't jumping for joy. I wasn't going nuts. I just did a deep release, a breath. At last, finally, you know. When we were 21-6 down, I thought it was game over. I did not see us coming back. And how many times have we seen Dragons crumble in our position and heads drop? We've seen it so many times over the years, but we showed a hell of a lot of character and spirit to come back from that. And I think the boys deserve a lot of credit. Now, when that team was announced, I had a lot of concerns about the bench. It looked raw, it looked inexperienced, aside Harrison Keddy. And I was wondering where the impact was going to come from. I was wrong. There was impact. Shea Hope, I think it's been one of the big plus points of the Dragons, actually. His development is coming on really well. And I'm really glad now that Niall Armstrong is doing well. Shea Hope is doing well. Morgan Lloyd is doing all right to Pontypool. I think to get the best of Rhodri Williams, he needs competition. So when we had Gonzalo Bertrand at the Dragons, Rhodri was at his best because he knew he had to be at his best to keep the 9 jersey. And there was a really good competition between those two players, wasn't there? And that's where I think you saw the best of Rhodri.
Yeah.
When he doesn't have that competition, when no one's really knocking on the door, that's when I think he gets complacent. And that's when the hot and cold performances come in. Shea Hope is knocking on the door. And, I wouldn't be too disappointed not to see Rhodri Williams next week against Connacht. I got to be honest, I wouldn't.
Well, I think both players deserve to keep their spot. I thought Niall Armstrong added a lot. He's got a lot of zip. I've never seen a 9 bark at the forwards so much. Let's be honest, the forwards went well. So I think he gave them good direction. And honestly, Shea Hope, look, I obviously haven't had time to watch it back. And I was watching it through blurry eyes, but I thought he's fantastic. I thought he's got so much quality about him. He looks like the type of player that would really thrive in a good side on the front foot, but he did it today. He looked brilliant. And after today's performance, he deserves his spot on the bench next week.
I thought he was really good. Yeah, because you would assume Rhodri is going to come back for Connacht, but then who do you drop? It feels harsh to drop either of them. I probably would drop Niall Armstrong, but again, it feels harsh, doesn't it?
I don't think I'd drop either. I think I'd stick as was. I think, they deserve this shot to go again and really make Rhodri fight for his spot. I thought Jordan Morris was good off the bench as well. Had a couple of strong carries. Exactly what we want.
He's a bit of a lump, isn't he? God.
Well, he is. And there's potential there. And you think, right, let's see what he can do. And I was scared thinking, mate, you could be coming into a side that's just doing nothing. But he has some strong carries. And from what I recall, I haven't watched it back, like I said, I thought he held up his end of the scrum pretty well.
So I got that written down in my notes. So one of the things I was looking forward to about this game was seeing the debut of Jordan Morris. Now, we've heard an awful lot about Jordan Morris. He's got a lot of potential. There's been a lot of talk about him in Welsh rugby circles. Did really well for Wales under-20s. The first thing I say, having seen him up close in the flesh, that boy is a unit. Oh, he's big.
Massive.
He is big. And we're talking in Welsh rugby, one of the common themes that was coming out of the autumn series was Wales aren't producing big enough players. We're too small. We haven't got physicality. Let me tell you, that boy is a unit. And I think everyone in Welsh rugby should have a vested interest now in Jordan Morris because he has so much potential. And he's massive. And he's good. He was a good scrummager. And do you know what? He carried really well, didn't he? I was impressed for pro debut.
One point in the game, he took the ball into contact, and you could almost hear the contact when he runs into the tackler. And I winced a little bit. Nasty. I
like the look of him.
Stop
him.
I wouldn't want to run into Jordan
Big prospect.
No, or Levi Douglas, to be honest.
No.
General Levi, as he's known on the terrace now. He just bossed it, didn't he?
And I love it because he just keeps looking for the ball, and you're thinking, and then he looks at someone and just runs into them as well.
I also love that he would just melt someone in defence, have 5 minutes sat down, have half an orange or whatever the physio brought on, get up, and then just melt someone again with a carry. And he just that's exactly what I want to see from a big second row.
But that's what we need. We need big, what I've been calling big bastard locks. And look, as much as I really like George Nott, he's not that guy.
No.
He's industrious. He works hard, but he doesn't get you over the game like someone like Levi Douglas does. He bashes his way through people. That's what we need. We need to be on the front foot.
Made a big difference. And also, he was error-free. He looked really good, error-free, just had a really, really solid game.
I was very impressed by the fact they got him up in the line-out as well, because that's a lot of blokes to get up in here.
Yeah. He is. You watch him up close, you're like, you're a boy, you are.
But I was impressed with Screech as well.
He's been doing well, haven't he? He's
there
quietly going about his business.
There was a turnover where they looked like they were certain to score first half, and Screech has just got his long arms in there and just managed to tie it all up. It was good.
That was good as well. There was a bit of scuffling on there first half.
Jared Ross, Jesus, he was on one, right? Because it was a smashing the guy in the elbow, in the front of the elbow.
He did have it, because I was watching the replay thinking, we can get away with this, but it was good. We bang up for it, and that's what we want to see as a terrace.
So
have a bit of a scuffle, fucking get into him.
I think the tip tackle was that on your side where you stand.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
because it looked on TV. Yeah, it was a tip tackle, but what made it worse is he's tackling the guy, and the second row gets up and just creates a platform for him to just go over, basically.
There was a lot of debate on the terrace, but I guess he's still got the responsibility to pop him down. So everyone was like, "Oh, it's their guy's fault," and it's like he still picked him up and dropped him on his head.
Tackler has the responsibility, letter of the law.
I actually thought we were a little bit lucky with that decision. I haven't seen it back, but I did think we were lucky to have a yellow.
Well, there were two mitigating factors on TV. One, the French second row gets up and he loses control.
Right, okay.
Secondly, he lands on his shoulder, not his head.
Oh, okay.
The shoulder makes contact first, then his head does.
Must have been close.
Oh no, it was literally that much of a gap. And that's what the referee said. He said, "Well, he lost control because the French player, the Lyon player, stands up in the rack," and he said he lands on his shoulder, not his head.
Yeah, and when I saw it on the big screen, I thought, "Yeah, this is a penalty." I didn't see it as a yellow card incident from what I saw on the. I
was happy to see Jared Ross on the wing as well. He's the type of player that if you give him a tenth of a chance, he will go for it, whether you make it or not. He does back himself, where not everyone in our backline backs themselves. So I do like Jared, to be fair.
I don't think he had his best game today, though, if I'm being honest.
No. I mean, he barely had a bloody chance, but
I don't think he had his best game.
None of our backline did. Someone said, "Where's Rio?" And I could see on his Instagram he's on holiday. And you think, well, he's got much of a chance of having the ball passed to him once he's bloody in another country as he does on the wing for the Dragons.
I don't think De Beer had a particularly good game either.
No, neither do I.
His passing was poor, his decision-making was poor.
It was quite telling, really, that we take De Beer off and move Angus to 10.
And that's where we won the game, I think, because Angus just made the right calls at the right times.
And credit where it's due, I think that was actually a good call from Philo.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I mentioned earlier, wherever the game change is going to come from on the bench, I had my doubts. Harry Keddy, how good was he off the bench? I think that was one of Harry Keddy's best ever performances in a Dragon shirt. There, I said it. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He is one of the most experienced players in the squad, and he led by example. 2 tries, good carrying. I want to see more of that every week. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
I thought Woodman played well as well when he came
Woodman
off.
was good, yeah.
He's always good, isn't he, Woodman? He's always good.
Physical, and he deserved a try. When we did score the final try, it was from that break by Woodman that got the penalty.
On Woodman as well, I seen him warming up, and he looked bigger. Because he
has bulked up a bit, I think.
For me, he's definitely, he's got international quality 6 written all over him. But you do think he's probably a stone too light. But he looked quite big warming up today and coming on. And he's a class act, isn't he?
He's a very good line-out operator as well.
Yes, yeah.
He's good. And he's good at the breakdown. There's a lot to like about Ryan Woodman. Another player who's developing nicely. It has to be said. Set piece went okay, I think, today.
Yeah.
86% line-out success and 80% scrum success. That's pretty good for us.
Massive shout out to Robert Hunt as well, who did 70 minutes at tight
end.
Friend of the pod, Rob Hunt.
Yeah. 70 minutes.
He had a big game, didn't he?
70 minutes at tight end against a French team with ex-international props on the final. Yeah, fair play to him.
He's looking like a good signing, isn't he? I think that's been one of our much better signings.
He carried well today as well. He carried a lot more than I've seen in other games.
Yeah, he was good today, Rob Hunt. So Maxime Goussou, the number 8 for Lyon, he was named to play with the match. Maybe I'm sounding biased here. I think Aaron Wainwright should be man of the match. I thought he was brilliant yet again. 14 carries, 20 tackles. he's brilliant, isn't he? He's
Wayno
just
was
Wayno.
man of the match on Premier Sports.
But
Alex
he wasn't the
no,
official man of the match, was he?
Alex Cuthbert gave him the Premier Sports man of the match.
No, something I agree with Cuthbert on. Not very
Yeah.
often, but
And
yeah, I agree with him on that one. Yeah, well played, Alex. I've always
I
liked you.
I got my second ever man of the match award in nearly 300, well, over 300 games for my club yesterday.
Well done. It's been a
Oh,
good
go on,
weekend,
Gav.
isn't it? Fair play.
Yeah, mainly for being a massive shithouse. So I don't think I did a lot of actual
Doesn't matter.
disrupted stuff. But yeah,
Doesn't matter.
and I played at 8. Maybe it's my inner way now.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what the future holds for Wainwright. There's a lot of
No.
talk about, Ospreys boys moving on. Derry like Jack Morgan going to Gloucester. They've got loads of players linked to English club, Ospreys. Rio and Aaron about to contract end the season. I don't know what's happening, but we'll miss him if he goes, won't we? Because he's just so good. It was a typical Aaron Wainwright performance. That's why we love him.
We almost don't even talk about him that much because it's just a given
Yeah.
that he's that good. For me, he's genuinely like world class, let alone like international class. He's amazing and he deserves so much better. I think we'd give him a guard of honor if he left. And obviously we want to keep him, but what a bloke. I mean, he's down his local club, Whitehead, great club, coaching.
Yeah.
He puts so much back as well into the community. He's a great guy. He's really humble. He's a fantastic player. He deserves more, but I'm really glad we could get a win. And he was a big part of it today because I thought, again, he was fantastic, as he always is. It's just a given. He's absolutely awesome. I love him.
Yeah. When we talk about best ever place for Dragons, we're talking about, Lydiate, Faletau,
Yeah.
Charteris is up there. Ian Goff, all these guys. But for me, Alan Wainwright is one of our greatest ever. He's just
100%.
superb. Absolutely.
Genuine legend now.
I'm going to turn into Gareth for a second now, unbelievably, and I'm going to be ridiculously optimistic.
It's not like you.
I know. The WRU make a decision, right? And a club in Newport is the thing, right? With a better budget. I don't think it'd take a lot of money to convince Wayno to stay here because he's a Newport boy through and through, isn't he? And
He loves the
is.
Dragons and he does so much work in the community. I mean, he could get more money elsewhere and he could have more success elsewhere, let's be honest. But if he's happy at the Dragons, he is a home bird, loves Newport, loves Whiteheads. Maybe he'll stay. I don't know. I hope he does. I can understand if he went, and if he goes, he will go with my blessing. Because I think if anyone deserves success in Welsh rugby, Aaron Wainwright does. Because he is
Wales
so hard.
Player of the Year recently, and he's down coaching at Whitehead. Like, you cannot ask more from a person. He's given so much back.
For the lads playing at Whiteheads, that must be such a bloody boost. And the kids at Whiteheads, like,
unbelievable, isn't it?
That must be such a boost. Christ, my club has me coaching them. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, imagine if you're like, under 15s and Alan Wainwright turns up on a cold, wet Thursday evening to coach you.
It's unbelievable. He deserves so much. And I just think the thing
was
is,
saying that to my lad about Wayno, saying like, he coaches at the juniors at his local club.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, can I join that club? Well, might be a bit of a commute.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I'd love us to go, yeah, we're investing in the team. We're going to be better. We're getting better players and better coaching, definitely, for next season. But he can't play forever. How long can you wait for us to be good, Aaron? Like, you could go and sign for a top club. And I want to flick on the telly and watch a big European semi-final. And I want to see Aaron Wainwright playing at number 8 for someone. He's that good. He would actually go with my blessing. He's that good now.
It's the Matt Letizia conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Letizia spent his entire season at Southampton. Could he have won things at another club? Yeah. Did he want to leave? No.
And I'd love him to stay. I'm not saying, go. Yeah. I'd love you to stay. But if you go, Aaron, you do go with our blessing.
Yeah. It reminds me of Sergio Parisse at Italy. Remember? When Sergio was just like, amazing for Italy. Always lost every game, but he was outstanding. It's kind of the Sergio Parisse thing for me. But we love him. Whatever he decides to do, he was amazing today.
Yeah.
What else have I got down? Okay, so look, this is not a night for focusing on negatives, but the goal kicking,
Yeah.
it's a real problem. And I am really pleased Angus held his nerve for that conversion. I didn't think he was going to get it. I'm
No,
sorry.
neither did I.
I'm sorry, but some of his kicking was shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. Fair play to him for getting that one at the end, but David Buttress told us about signing a clutch kicker. We still haven't got that, have we? We still haven't nailed down the problem. We brought in Reece Patchell to help, the kicking coach. I don't know if that's what they're focusing on, place kicking, or whether they're focusing on other areas. But someone's really got to focus now on place kicking in training every week because it's just not good enough. We could have easily lost or not won that game or drawn because of the lack of points missed from the tee. It's a big problem now, and it still hasn't been resolved from last season. And that's my frustration that we still haven't solved the goal kicking.
I do agree,
problem.
and I think that comes back to, look, the owners, I think, have been under a bit of heat this week, and I think especially, for those on X that follow the pod and stuff, want to make my position clear that I thank the owners a lot for everything they've done, keeping us safe, and I think they are ambitious, driving us forward. But there have been poor decisions, and yeah, we were promised a clutch kicker. We haven't got one. We promised marquee signings. We didn't sign them. Buttress has defended that, saying the landscape changed and they sort of had the rug pulled on funding. Fair enough. I mean, communicate with the fans, because we'll understand. I take exception with something else Buttress said on Twitter about that on X, that they haven't taken cheap options in regards to coaching.
I think they have. Sorry, David.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
we
sorry.
have. Sorry. Yeah.
So when Di Flanagan was
We all think
coach,
they have.
just before the season started, we lost our defense coach to a team in the US. Was that right? To the US? And
Yes, we did. Yeah.
we didn't replace him, and we were literally told at the time it was to save money. So that is a cheap option, David. So I have to take exception against that. And let's be honest, if you're promoting people who have coached from the academy, like Matt O'Brien, that must be a cheap option. An example to going out and getting a Nick Evans, attack coach from Harlequins, or bringing in a Franco Smith. We are taking the cheap option.
Realistically, though, we aren't getting either of those two. Realistically.
We definitely ain't getting Franco Smith. I don't know how much Gareth's been drinking tonight. I know we've won a game, but I don't know what he's bringing up Franco Smith for.
But there are more experienced coaches out there who are probably affordable.
I keep saying it. Stephen Jones. We should have gone after Stephen Jones and brought him on. Why didn't we do it?
I give David Buttress a lot of respect, and I love the fight he's given for the Dragons, and also I love how passionate he is and how much he communicates with supporters. But he's not got things right off the field in terms of coaching.
They've made mistakes. The owners have made mistakes, and whilst we can praise them for the brilliant work, they have conducted themselves really well. With everything that's going on in Welsh rugby.
And we're really thankful for that.
Yeah, the statements, I think, have been on point. They've been punchy. I don't think we've gone too far with them. We did really good business signing that PRA. We took a lot of flack from that. The amount of shit Dragons had off other supporters and everyone when we signed that PRA, looking pretty good now, isn't it? Looking like a very good decision.
Yeah.
Owning our own stadium, looking pretty good now, isn't it? Yeah, the on-field is shit. We all know that. But we have conducted ourselves very well throughout this very difficult and quite nonsensical process that the WRU are putting the regions through. That doesn't mean they've got everything right. We can question the decisions they made around the coaching and the recruitment. Absolutely. Yeah. It's fine to do that. It's absolutely fine. We can appreciate the work the owners have done, but that doesn't mean we can't hold them to account. So, yeah, absolutely. Just going back to this game, look, I don't know how we won that game, right? I haven't watched the game back, because we are recording this on the same day. We haven't long got back from Ronnie Parade, have we, in fairness? And I'm not sure if we were the better team, if I'm being honest. I will have to watch. It didn't feel like
we were.
No, we were not.
I don't know.
No,
I think maybe in the last quarter, but overall, I don't know.
We were better for the first 20 minutes. We were better for the last 15 minutes. The bit in between, we were not.
It was enough.
That's how it felt. That's how it felt to me. But my point is this, right? You don't always need to be the better team.
No,
You just need to get over the line.
you just have to be the winning team.
That's all you need to do. Sometimes the best team don't always win.
Yeah.
But if you get over the line, that's what matters. And that's what we don't do enough. And I'm really pleased that we go over the line.
Come
Like
on.
I said, it just felt like a weight off the shoulders now. And you know what? Now we can look ahead to Connacht with a bit of optimism and a bit of confidence. And if we do well against Connacht, then we can actually look ahead to the festive derbies. We can now go into this really important block with a bit of hope and optimism. I think if we lose today, I think the season's done. It's finished. We're not getting out of that pool. We're probably going to finish bottom of the URC. This win gives everyone a little bit of hope. It might be false hope. I don't know. We'll soon see. But right now, it gives us a little bit of hope. And that is what we needed. After the week we had, after the kicking that we received, rightly so, like I said, we do deserve a lot of criticism. We have not helped ourselves, but we needed a win today, and we got it.
Who's the next European fixture, Jamie? I know you know this kind
It's
of stuff.
Benetton away.
And
then we
got... was it Benetton home and then Newcastle home, is it?
It's Benetton away, and then it's Newcastle home. Benetton have gone 2 from 2. They're looking good to qualify. They may not put out a strong side. I still think now we need to put out a strong side in Europe. You know,
Tom Bowler will be out.
Well, that's my concern. And like people are saying, why are we resting players? Why can't we just play them every week? They've had some of these players have had weeks off, whatever. I kind of understand why you need to rotate when you've got, a game, 6-day turnaround, so what have you. But I want us to take this Challenge Cup seriously. We're not going to win it, but can we just give supporters something to cheer about? Like I said, the last 16, get to the knockout. The last 16 at home, that's an event. That's what people can look forward to. We're going to attract a big crowd. I want us to get out of this pool, and I want us to have a home tie. But can we please? I don't want Philo naming a team of kids going away to Benetton. Name your best team, Philo.
It wouldn't help.
Name your best team. I beg of him. Name your best team. Let's give this a really good crack.
I agree.
Those are my thoughts anyway. Like I said, just relief, delighted. It's been a tough week, but we go over the line. And that's something you just never, ever say about the Dragons.
Well, no.
Is it? We got over the line. We did it. We won. We actually won a game of rugby. Gavin, do you have anything to add before we move on?
No, I think we've covered it all.
Gareth, do you want a final word on this?
Just again, I think
deserves it.
those players, I feel like, gave so much to that jersey. And I feel like we've had players that give so much to that jersey all season. And we might have lacked direction, but I feel like the effort's not been in question. And I'm so happy that they've got over the line. I don't want to single out all the players, so I think that they all deserve the credit. There was a lot of effort went in tonight, and I'm so pleased. It was absolutely buzzing. Honestly, it was wild on the terrace when we won. Despite the lack of numbers, it was wild. And I think if we could string more of those together, that crowd will grow and the team's confidence will grow and we can go somewhere. I really enjoyed it. And bring on Connacht. I'm telling you, we're going to win our 3 home games in a row. I called it before this one. It's happening. It's on. Come on. Come on, Dragons.
This is what you're right about. 1 win now. 1 swallow doesn't make a summer, Gareth. You're going too excited again. You're getting overboard. So for those who are listening on audio, can't see, Gavin has just put on a Dragon's hat.
I haven't.
Love it.
Excellent.
It was a birthday present last week from a friend of mine.
Great stuff. Nice hat. It is a nice hat.
I'll be wearing it next week.
Happy days. Oh, yeah, you're coming down. We're going to talk about it a bit. I can't wait. Can't wait to see you. Pod out in. Right, let's move on then. Dragons won a game. It still haven't sunk in. It still has not sunk in. The Dragons have actually won a rugby game. Right. It's been a good one tonight. I'm enjoying this. Gwent Rugby Roundup, Gav. What's the latest? What's been happening?
Let me go through these. So, first of all, if we start in the European Challenge Cup, Dragons 23.
Oh,
Lyon 21.
Come on, Dragons.
SRC, Ebervale 47, Bridgend 15.
Oosh.
Newport 76, Aberavon 10. Newport absolutely on the rise. Pontypool letting us side on the RGC 26, Pontypool 12. But they did go to the cauldron of rugby culture that is Colwyn Bay. So,
Yeah.
who can blame them for shivering in the face of such adversity?
Mm.
Anyway, Premiership, Cardiff Met 10, Cross Keys 13, a tight one there. Newbridge 36, Llanelli Wanderers 9, Astrad Ronda 35, Bargoed sadly 19. Then into the Championship, Penalta 13, Aberdeen 30. Rumney versus Adelaide Blind and Gwent was postponed. I assume that's weather. St. Peter's 23, Anistee 14. Your boys, unfortunately, not winning this week. And Talawine 5, Glamorgan Wanderers 57. Into Division 1 East, Blaenau 30, Monmouth 18. Newport High School Old Boys 40, Blaenavon 0. Division 2 East, Abercarn 27, Newport Saracens 15. Caldecott 48, Pontypool United 29. Croesakilliog 29, 22, Ask 29. Cumbran 22, Rumney 25. No one's winning in Cumbran yesterday, both Croesakilliog and Cumbran losing. Pill Harriers 83, Sengennes 7. Oh, that's not a nice score to be on the end of. Gwynafod 45, Fleur de Lis 7. Gwynafod, like that, must be a hard place to get a side because it's mid Wales and it's near Welshpool. Must be hard place to get a team out to. Machen 12, RTB Ebervale 15. Division 4, Bedwellty 10, Crickhowell 19. Crumlin 33, Abertwysog 21. Llanilla versus Pontypridd Fife was postponed. Again, I assume that was weather. And Tredegar Ironside 17, Derry 45. Into Division 5, Abersachen 21, Blackwood Stars 36. Hafod Ynys 68, Fordside 0. Again, not a score you want to be on the end of. Hartridge 57, Trinant 7, and Hollybrook 7, Betters 13. And our friends at New Tredegar's game against Heroine was postponed. And the only women's game due to be played yesterday, Ebervale against Dowlais, was also postponed.
Lovely. Is that it, Gav?
That is it.
Lovely stuff. Okay, just a reminder, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Rap YouTube channel, which is growing, and all the usual platforms. We've had 2 brand new reviews this week, chaps. So over on Apple Podcast, Franksbridge FC says, brilliant pod. Hope one day you will get a win to talk about. Today is that day. From Gareth and Ted, listening on the school run. 5 stars. See, I'm a bit conscious about that, listening on the school run, because we have been you have, Gareth, I think, been a bit sweary lately. So I'm not sure if we... I don't think you should be listening to us with kids in the car on the school run. But we're delighted you're listening, and thank you very, very much for the review. But yeah, maybe when the kids in the car, probably listen to us. Rover Dragon over on Spotify says, great show as always. Refresh and listen compared to the bias on the BBC podcast shows.
Bosh, love that.
Yeah. Funny enough, we were just talking about that. Best wishes to Gavin.
Oh,
so
that's very kind.
Yeah, because we've said you've had family issues and stuff, so we send your best wishes.
Yeah, well, thank you. That is very kind.
See, people do care, Gav. They've been asking about you. He also adds, what other professional sports team would keep a coaching setup with a results record like ours? Fair point. Yeah. It's a fair point. We're not going to argue that. Thank you very much for your reviews. And if you'd like to send us a 5-star review, it would be much appreciated, and you will get shouted on the pod. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you for listening to us. Right, let's look ahead to Saturday night. It's going to be a pod outing. You're coming down, Gavin, aren't you? You're coming down.
I am indeed.
I can't wait for this.
I bought my ticket for the train and my ticket for the game today. I have my hotel booked. It's exciting times.
Right. Where are you going to be in the stadium? Have you gone the terrace or the Bisley stand?
Terrace.
Oh, he's over with the riffraff. Gareth, you need to look after him.
I'll look after you, Gav. They're a good bunch on the terrace. They're a friendly bunch.
Well, I think I bought terrace because it was saying about seating number. It was saying seating numbers, but I can't see how you'd have seats in the terrace,
Well,
but
you'll be on the North Terrace. You'll be the only bloke there. So
no, it's a one running up the side.
I can't wait to see. It was great to have you come
Oh,
down,
good
pod
stuff.
out, and
Yeah,
it's going
looking
to be
forward
good.
to it.
Really looking forward to it. And we've won. So it's even more reason to look forward to Saturday night. So it's a return to the bread and butter of the URC. Dragons welcome Connacht to Holley Parade. So I think we can go into this one with a bit of optimism, not just because we won, although that does help. Connacht do have a few injuries. Now, I'm not sure if they'll be available for Dragons. Maybe some of these boys will be back on Saturday, but they are missing guys at the moment like Bundy Aki, Finley Beelan, Peter Dooley, Mac Hansen, Josh Ione, Shane Jennings,
They all right.
Cian Prendergast. Some of these boys are injured. Yeah,
And Hansen's long term, well, no
I
longer
didn't know
term.
Bundy was
yeah.
out. That's great news.
Well, it said unavailable on their website, so maybe he wasn't considered for selection against Black Lion or the rest of them. I don't know, but they do have a lot of injuries. Connacht do. They've got a growing injury list. They did, however, absolutely thump Black Lion on the weekend, 52-0. They're a good side, Connacht. I've always liked Connacht. Got a lot of
Yeah.
respect from them. They never quite get the respect or credit that they deserve, but I think they're a very good team.
No dragons, though, are they?
No, they're obviously no dragons, but they're a good side. They are a good side, and I think it's going to be a really good contest. Gavin, how do you feel coming down, watching this game? What are your thoughts heading into this one?
Uh, it was one of the ones I kind of selected because I thought, yeah, that we could get something out of this. I also selected it because it was when I was off work, but that's another point entirely. But it's I don't think Connacht are an easy team to beat.
No.
But if, in a weakened state, we've got our tails up. There's a chance there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like we've got key players missing as well, of course. We're not at full strength, but I don't know. I feel like, well, we'll do predictions later. I feel like we might have a sniff in this one. Gareth, your thoughts heading into this one? Obviously, you're going to be buzzing now. You're full of
Mate, undoubtedly, we're going to
optimism.
batter them.
Right, right, okay.
No, I think we'll do them. I think we carry good momentum from today's win. The efforts there is finally being rewarded, and I think we can introduce a little bit more quality into that side as well, because we did rest a few. There's a few players who weren't on the injury list that we left out, so I think we'll add a bit of class. That should only give us more confidence. Adding in a couple of internationals. Rodney Parade on a Saturday night. Oh, come on. That's exactly what we want. I think we can turn them over. I said before today's game, we're going to win our next 3 home games. I stand by it. I think we've got enough quality and effort in that side. 100%.
Oh, so you're changing it now to 3 home games because I don't think you said that.
Well, I
at the
said
beginning.
3
You
out of the
said
next 4. So obviously, the
it's
Cardiff
like you're
game,
moving the goalposts here a bit, Gav.
a
I'm
little
not gonna
bit,
lie.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
you are. Yeah.
Well, I said 3 out of the next 4, didn't I? So it's the Cardiff game I'm forgetting, and that would be 3 out. It is 3 in the next 4
How
home, are they?
excited would you be though if we beat Cardiff?
Oh, mate, if we beat Cardiff, I mean, I've decided not to go down to the Arms Park this year because I can't stick losing down there anymore. But if I honestly don't know what would happen if I'm watching that on the telly. I'd fucking rip my cock off and throw it at the TV. I'd be so happy. I honestly don't know what I'd do. I'd be in the street crying. It'd be amazing. It's not going to happen though.
It's not going to happen. No,
no,
no, it's not happening. So you don't have to worry about turning your cock off.
But
Don't worry.
let's win our home games. Don't worry about the away games. Whatever.
We always lose to Cardiff, and it is really frustrating. But I would take a losing bonus point of beating Scarlets at home. Because the Scarlet, we'll talk about it on next week's part. Scarlet's game, that's far more important than the Cardiff game, as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
That has to be won. That game at home against Scarlets, that has to be
It's
won.
a massive game.
Huge.
And I
Far
think
bigger
if
than
we beat
Cardiff.
Connacht, we've got that. We've carried that momentum that we've made Rodney Parade into. We've had 2 draws. That will be 2 draws, 2 victories, and we'll have a lot of confidence at home. And we are starting to turn that corner into making it a fortress. I know that sounds daft after how we've been, but I genuinely believe we are on the cusp of turning it back into a fortress.
Are we getting to excited and a bit carried away. Oh, yes, it was a good
No.
win, but listen, is this really going to be a springboard? Because we've been through this before. We have one really good win. You laugh, Gav, but you know as well as I do. We have one really good win, and then we fail to back it up then.
We've had enough false dawns, I would
Exactly.
suggest.
So do we really feel this is a springboard now to changing things?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And look, I feel like I did say this before today's victory that I think if we can win this home game, I think we will go on a run of home games and get them over the line, because I've seen a lot of effort and a lot of quality in that side. I maintain that we're poorly coached and we haven't got a clue what we're doing in attack, despite the good players at our disposal. But hopefully with a lot of confidence, and derby games are niggly, winter games to suit us now because we're tough up front. I think we've got quality in that side. I think we'll get these over the line.
And Aaron Owen said in the press conference this week, didn't he? He said that if we get that win, that gives us a bit of belief and momentum. He thought it could be a springboard. Well, let's hope so. This can't be a one-off.
He's a fantastic player that's not being utilised.
Aaron Owen.
Yeah. I think he would look very, very good in some other teams.
I know Robbie from Squid Rugby and James, friend of the pod, James Rees from the Ospreys pod, they've always said about getting an Iron in the Ospreys. Yeah, he would be really, really good for him. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah, very intelligent.
I do also want to see Harry Ackerman get a good
Well, he
run.
played for Newport on the weekend, so that's good news. He is back from injury. 13 is a problem, isn't it? Now, I got nothing against Di Richards. I really like Di Richards. Glad he's back, from that awful injury that he had, He's not the answer 13 for me, though. The problem is neither is Joe Westwood at the moment, I don't think. That's a real problem position for us. So I'm wondering, do we do the Ackerman, Owen, even though both are 12s, do we...
It worked against the Scarlets last year, didn't it?
That's what I'm thinking.
Just give Nisi in at 13.
Oh, yeah. But we forgot about him. He didn't play today. He was rested. Wonder if we'll try that, though. Wonder if we will try. Because, Tonga had no problem playing him in the centre. So you think, well, why can't we?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think Anisi, we've said it time and time again, haven't we? He'd offer a lot of 13. I would happily see Ackerman and Owen at 12 and 13. I think it lacks a touch of pace, but I think there's enough quality of player there. And just on Anisi and obviously being left out today, it just reminds me of, I thought it was really nice at the end. Dragons players went in a big huddle on the pitch. Obviously, we're all singing on the terrace, and all the non-playing squad walked down from wherever they were and joined them on their pitch, some on crutches or whatever. So the whole squad were actually together in a big huddle on the pitch.
It wasn't their squad, it was backroom staff.
Yeah.
It was everyone.
It really shows how much it means to that team to get that victory over the line, and fully deserved. So that was really lovely to see as well, with the terrace in full voice at the same time. Love that.
Yeah, really good. You can tell what it means to the players, because we have to forget, it's tough for us supporters, of course, we pay our money, but for the players as well, they're living and breathing this. They're going to training every week. It must have been really difficult, when you're in a team that's losing every week. It can't be fun. Right, we've had a message from Stephen, right? And I want you to elaborate on this, please, Gareth. He says, ask Gareth about his porn-related comments towards the end of the match. Would you like to explain yourself about that? What have you been saying?
Do you know what? I remember there being... I was very half cut. I'm starting to sober up now after a piece of bread when I got in. I'm just going to have to say, don't know what he's on about, deny everything and move on, to be honest. Sorry, who are you, Stephen? I don't know you, never heard of you. You must stand at the other end of the terrace to me. Sorry, mate.
Right. Predictions before we wrap up. Must be that for once a really enjoyable pod, because it's nice talking about a win, isn't it? It's really, really nice. And to go into the next game with a bit more hope and optimism. Gavin, prediction, please. Dragons Connacht.
Connacht by 4.
Oh, you bloody spoil sport. You're so negative all the time. Gareth.
Gav? Dragons by 50. Easy.
Right, you've had way too many shandies, I know. Come on now, what's your problem?
No, genuinely, Dragons by 5.
I'm going Dragons by 4.
Oh, go on. That's 2 out. I've turned 1, or the Dragons have turned 1. Come on, Gav. You sure
And
you don't want to rethink it?
Everyone calls me the negative one on this pod, by the way. Gavin's let the side down, isn't he?
Gav, you have let us down there a bit, mate. Come on.
Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, Connacht are favourites. I could easily say Connacht by
Of course,
8
yeah.
or 9. You know, they are favourites coming into this one. But I'm in a good mood. I don't want to be positive because I'm always
Gav,
criticizing.
don't let that porn comment put you off coming on the terrace either.
Well, I've got a ticket for the terrace now, so I haven't really got much choice.
Oh, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. I'm really looking forward to seeing you, Gav. It's going to be great. And you, Gav, as well, when we meet up for
Yeah,
a
it'd be
pod
good crack.
meeting. It's going to be good. If you see us or if you see, Gavin on the terrace, say hello to him. Say hello to the pair of them.
It is
Buy him a
genuinely
pint.
always lovely bumping into blokes who say, "Oh, listen to the pod," and having a chat about the Dragons.
Do you actually get that? Do you actually get people coming up talking about the pod here?
I know which is really nice actually, good fun.
Well, bizarrely, a number of my teammates have started listening to the pod, despite not being Dragons fans or even Welsh, and they like listening to the pod.
We have a lot of listeners who aren't Dragons fans, though. We like, supporters of the other 3 regions listen to this pod.
Yeah.
Which I think is weird because I don't listen to. Well, no, I do listen to a couple of Ostrich, but I don't really listen to the Scarlets and Cardiff pod.
Oh.
But fair play, they listen to us, and that's great.
2 boys I travelled to my game with yesterday, both from Harlequins fans, listen to the pod.
Tidy. We're Broadchurch. We'll accept anyone. We're welcoming. Thank you for listening. It's great. Whoever you support, don't have to be a Dragons fan to listen to us. We appreciate it. It's great. Oh, do you know what? I've enjoyed that. I really enjoyed doing that pod. There was some, negative stuff in it, but overall, it's been happy talking about a win, going into the next game with a bit of positivity and optimism. And then on Sunday night, we're going to record. We'll go back to being how it was before.
Yeah.
You could just see it, can't you? Oh, come on!
After my
Dragons.
after my 5-hour journey home as well.
Oh, don't go back to being Dragonsy, please, Dragons, on Saturday. Give us another win. Bloody hell. Imagine if Dragons won 2 games in a row. Can you imagine that?
Well, if we win another game, then Dragonsy starts to take on a new meaning. It means grit, determination, and all that. So we'll have to start changing what Dragonsy means.
2 games is a bit early to be changing stuff like that, but yeah, I like your optimism.
Let's leave it there.
The best team I've ever seen. At one point, I did shout, "It's the best side I've ever watched. It's the best side."
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, okay.
I might see if I can change my ticket, or I might just stand with someone else.
Come in the Bisley with me. It's boring, but you get a good view. Nicer toilets as well. And I think the food and drink queues are a lot shorter. So, if you want to come in the Bisley, Gavin, you're welcome. If you want to stray away from the riffraff and Gareth. But that's where all the atmosphere is, to be fair. So I think if you want the proper Dragons experience, you got to get on the terrace, haven't you?
You have.
Yeah. And wait half hour for a pint.
I think you should venture over next week with us, just for the one-off, because Gav's over.
No, I'm not going to do that. I pay too much money for my seat. I'm not going out. I do it for the county. I'm not doing
prima donna of the pod, look.
Oh, bloody way. Not a chance. Not getting me over there. Right. Gareth and Gavin, thank you as always. Thank you to our friends at the Riverside Sports Bar. We'll go there next week, shall we? Pop in for a pint.
Indeed.
Say hello to our sponsors. That'll be good.
We'll be the
thank
bloke
you.
shouting "Dragons, Dragons," in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah. Thank you for their continued support to the pod. And thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate it. We'll speak again soon. Until then, goodbye.